Wow. Can't believe how much these taste like Cool Ranch Doritos. Sometimes you just want something crunchy like a chip, and that can be hard to achieve on the keto diet because all of our favorite snack chips are loaded with carbs. But I found a way to make crunchy, crispy tortilla chips that are perfect for scooping up your favorite guacamole and salsa. And not only am I going to show you how to make keto tortilla chips, but I'm going to show you how to make keto Doritos, both nacho and Cool Ranch flavored. So let's get to cooking so I can show you how to satisfy your chip craving. Starting with our base tortilla chip recipe, you'll love how easy these are to make, and you only need 3 ingredients. Well, 4 if you count salt, and 5 if you count water, but I'm pretty sure we all have salt and water, so we're not gonna count those. So just 3 ingredients. In a small bowl, we're gonna add 2/3 cup of almond flour, 1 tablespoon of unflavored protein powder, and I'll have the one that I use listed down below in the description box. And you really can't sub out the protein powder. It's essential to make these chips super crispy. Add 1 tablespoon of xanthan gum. And you can get away with less xanthan gum if it irritates your stomach, or use different gum. The gum is what holds our dough together, so again, an essential ingredient. Then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Add 3 tablespoons of hot water. And if you really want that corn chip flavoring, well then you can add a dropperful of cornbread extract. I'll have this listed down below in the description box. Sounds a little weird, but it really does the trick. Then let's talk about what we do next. We mix everything together until our dough forms. Press your dough in between 2 sheets of parchment paper and then roll it out with a rolling pin. You really want to roll this out super thin. The thinner the better for an ultra crispy chip. And then to easily remove our dough from the parchment paper, remove the top part first, put it back, flip it over, and then remove that new top layer. And then now your dough should easily come off of the parchment paper. Cut the dough into triangles. I like to use a pizza cutter, but you can use a knife. And then we're gonna let our dough sit out a little bit while we heat up our oil in a skillet. And this waiting period is ideal. It just helps our dough to dry out a little bit so that the chips get super crispy when they fry. And you can see it in the chips. When they fry, they start to bubble up. This is a key sign that you've done everything correctly, rolled out your dough super thin, let it dry out, and use that protein powder. I'm gonna use avocado oil to fry because it has a high smoke point. I'm gonna heat my oil over medium heat and then add my chips in when they're ready. And I'm only gonna work in batches because I don't wanna overcrowd the skillet. You're gonna fry them until they just turn golden, then remove them and set them on a paper towel lined plate to further dry, and then they'll continue to harden. You can also sprinkle on some additional salt at this point. Not only do these keto tortilla chips look legit, but they are similar in tasting too, and perfect for scooping. Now that we've played around with our base tortilla chip recipe, let's add some flavor. Up first is Nacho Doritos. This seasoning is simple and it only involves 4 ingredients. First up, you need to get some cheese powder. I picked this up from Amazon and I'll have it linked down below. You'll need a tablespoon of this cheese powder, and then 2 spices, chili powder and smoked paprika. And yes, it should be smoked. 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder and 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then mix this together. To coat our chips, you have 2 options. You can dip each chip one at a time into the powder to coat and then tap off the excess. This will be the long way and a painfully slow process with 50 chips. Or you can just dump your chips into a plastic bag or a bowl and toss them with the flavoring. This is much faster and it coats them evenly. Yep, these will fight those Doritos cravings. Plus you still get the orange fingers that you can lick off. Now let's make my favorite flavor, which is Cool Ranch. And for this, you'll need 5 ingredients. First, a tablespoon of powdered ranch. You know, the ones that you get from Hidden Valley Ranch packets, that's what you'll need. Or you can make your own if you want. 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1/8 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/8 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix them together and then we coat. These are dangerous. But you know what's really dangerous? Is now I can make keto nachos with these keto tortilla chips and my recipe for keto nacho sauce that's super creamy without having to use cream cheese or dirty American cheese. Just click right here to watch. Yep, super legit. Too legit to quit.